Alrighty, folks. Today we are going to go ahead and do a Kahoot on chemical reaction. So let's see who I will be playing as. I'm going to be Bright Crab. All right, let's do it. So here we go. Chemical reactions. All right, question one. The following reaction would be classified as what? All right, so we have a complex molecule that is broken down into two simpler molecules. That is a decomposition reaction. Number two, the beginning ingredients in a chemical reaction are known as the beginning ingredients are the reactants. The reactants. All right, question three. Balance the following equation. H2O2 yields H2O and O2. So I have two H's, I have two H's. I have two O's, I have one, two, three O's. And so that means that I'm actually going to put a 2 in front of this H2O to give me 2 here. So then I have 4. And now I have 4 O's, so I would need to put a 2 here to get 4 O's. And now I have 4 hydrogens, and that matches my 4 hydrogens. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2H2O yields 2H2O and O2. All right, next. The end result of a chemical reaction is known as the products. We are forming products. All right, next question. The reactants in the following equation are, so the reactants are going to be what we start with, and so we start with sodium and chlorine gas. Sodium and Cl2, chlorine. Next up, this type of equation is known as what? So we start with two simple molecules and they combine to form a more complex molecule, and so that is going to be a synthesis or combination reaction. Next one. In the following reaction, the products are what? So the products are going to be whatever we end up with, and in this case, we end up with CO2 and H2O, so that is going to be our products. Next question. In the following equation, the subscript of H in the product H2O is what? So the subscript of H in the product H2O, so we're looking right here, the subscript is this small number right next to it, so it is going to be the 2. Oops, missed it, but I was correct. All right, next up. The following reaction would be classified as what? All right, so in this one, we see that we have ions swapping, and it's two cations swapping, so that is going to be a double replacement reaction. All right, next one. The following reaction would be classified as what? All right, in this one we have an ionic compound, and we have another material over here, and we see that the one of the ions goes from one to another atom or compound, and we see that the other one's left alone. So that is going to be a single replacement. Single replacement. All right, halfway through, the following reaction would be classified as. All right, so we have potassium bromide and silver nitrate forming potassium nitrate and silver bromide. Basically, the ions just swapped places, and so that is a double replacement reaction. Next up, the small number that tells how many atoms are present is known as the what? So we're talking about that little number to the right of the atoms, and that is going to be our subscript. Our subscript. Next up, the following reaction would be classified as what? All right, so we have fluorine reacting with iron iodide to form iodine and iron fluoride. So we have ions swapping places, but it is just one anion, so it's going to be a single replacement. All right, next up, the following reaction would be classified as. All right, so in this one we have methane reacting with oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water. Well, this one we can look and we see, hey, our products are CO2 and H2O, so that's a hint. And then we see that our reactants are a hydrocarbon and oxygen, meaning that this is a combustion reaction. right, next up, the arrow in a chemical equation means what? So that arrow is going to tell us that it is yields. Hydrogen and oxygen react to yield water. In the following equation, the coefficient of the reactant O is what? All right, the reactant, we're looking on the left-hand side, and so we are looking at this number 3 is the coefficient, the big number. All right. The following reaction would be classified as what? So this is going to be, once again, we have ions swapping places, and that is going to be a double replacement reaction. The prefixes endo and exo mean what? So remember, endo, enter, exo, exit. So endo means in, exo means out. An explosion is an example of what type of reaction. So if we have an explosion that looks like this, you can see there's fire there. That means it's going to be giving off a lot of heat, and so it would be an exothermic reaction. An ice pack is an example of what type of reaction. So one of these dry ice packs, you crush it and you feel it, and it feels cold to the touch. That means it's pulling energy in. It is endothermic. Cooking an egg on a stove is an example of what type of reaction? Well, the egg itself is taking energy in from the stove, meaning that it is an endothermic reaction. And our last question, when a new substance forms, what type of change has occurred? Well, if we are forming a completely new substance, that means that it is a change to the chemical structure, therefore it is a chemical change. Alrighty, folks, there you go. That is our Kahoot. So hopefully, maybe you did better than me. That'd be awesome. But hopefully this helps you prepare. If you have any questions, please make sure to reach out to your teacher. Have a great day.